And I do believe that we have rotten politics, and I'm not using that as an exaggeration.
Hey everyone and welcome. This morning on Talk Radio, Julia Hartley-Brewer took Lisa Nandy from Labour, who's the shadow Foreign Secretary, to task regarding the traffic light stupid system the government has put in place regarding international travel. Labour has called for amber list countries to be put on the red list, and Shadow Foreign Secretary Lisa Nandy says hotel quarantine should also be introduced. Julia, so you're suggesting hundreds of thousands of Brits should be quarantined? Now this would make our once free island union into a big prison for Brits, in my honest opinion. If you're not allowed to travel anywhere unless you're told you can, that doesn't make you a country, it makes you a prison. This is in response to the Shadow Home Secretary, Nick Thomas Simmons. As he said, all amber listed countries should go on the red list, and thus forcing Brits abroad to quarantine in hotels. Julia asked this: do you agree with your colleagues that all countries in Europe and others on the amber list should be put on the red list and ban travel? She replied, well, I think certainly we should introduce quarantine mandatory for those countries. And the reason for it is that Greater Manchester and Wigan have been in almost complete lockdown for 14 months. And she says they can't allow that to continue. Well, as someone that was born in Greater Manchester, you do not speak for me, Labour. Don't even try anymore. We don't all think the same, you muppet. Also, Nandy Pandy, your logic's flawed. You want to stop lockdowns by enforcing a world lockdown on your own voters. Suicide, isn't it, everyone? Let's see the list, shall we? This was after ministers said you can go on amber, which people did, then said, actually, nah, you can't. Flip-flop. And this Fraggle wants mandatory quarantine in hotels, at your expense, I might add, for thousands of Brits. Not once did she mention dinghy dodgers or the new Labour voters breaking in daily. No, nothing to do with them. She just wants to lock up Brits for coming home. Typical Labour. Everyone but its own people. Labour at this point are a caricature of the once powerful self. Don't forget, this is the party of free movement. This proves it's only free movement for others, not us. Can't do right for doing wrong, can they? They've taken can't do right for doing wrong to whole new levels, haven't they, Labour? It's glorious to see, but it just shows you they are only representing a handful of people in the entire country, and not a single one of them is you. Makes you wonder who they are actually representing, doesn't it? But you see the list, it's not a small list, it's a big list. And they want all of those countries, every single one of them, to go onto the red list. So anyone that's gone to one of those thinking that they won't have to quarantine, Labour want you to quarantine at your expense.
You know what my response would be? Two finger salute. Unless you're paying for the hotel, you can do when I'm going home.
That's what I think a lot of people do. There's thousands of people gone. This is just a complete disconnect with the entire people of the nation.
What's the difference of quarantining at home with the people you've been on holiday with, yeah? You're not infecting anyone. And then you go to a hotel, you've got staff coming to the door making sure you're okay. Well, you've got to check out, you've got to check in. In that interacting with the public, maybe spreading it more.
There's no difference other than the fact they can't force you to stay in at your house. People, they're trying to make out people are coming back when they're supposed to quarantine, they're not. And therefore, everything's their fault but ours. So that's what this is all about.
So it's just pushing the blame onto someone else.
Yeah, that's all we're going to get from now until the dawn of time now. It's always going to have been someone else's fault, but the people actually making the decisions and the ones that were supposed to be in opposition to the ones making the decisions. Seems like they're all on the same page nowadays. All parties might as well just merge into one big blob of crap. But anyway, I'd like to know your opinion. Do you think this just shows the complete disconnect still? I at this point think Labour don't have a single person that I would put any faith in whatsoever. I don't have much faith in the Tories either, to be honest, but I have very little faith in Labour.
If they was in touch with the people, they would know that half of the people that do go on holiday can't afford to come back and shed out for a hotel.
Yep. It's punishing your own for your own mistakes.
Yeah.
Stay sane, I'll see you on the next one, everyone.